Derby Supply Chain Solutions is a third-party logistics provider headquartered in Louisville, Kentucky, privately held. Been in business for 36 years now. We service primarily companies engaged in the appliances market, whether that's inbound logistics management or OEM replacement parts for repairs or retail sales. But we also service companies involved in food and confectionaries, pharma, and automotive, as well as a number of other markets, but those are the primary markets. I am the IT director. I've been there for 9 years, so my job is to ensure that the mission of the IT department is lining up with the mission of the company overall. The biggest thing was most of the software providers out there that we looked at or were using just didn't get it. They were solutions that had been put together largely for warehouse management systems and then retrofitted to work for 3PLs. The 3PLs have very specific needs, very specific requirements that don't fit well within the traditional warehouse management system. And we had tried a few. In fact, we had tried a predecessor of Delfor. A lot of the companies that, or a lot of the employees that worked at Delfor now work here. That we had scaled beyond that particular product, and the requirements of our customers had outgrown that particular product. So we had an issue of legacy systems that simply couldn't support our growth. And then we had an issue of systems, even new systems that we had purchased and attempted to implement that were monolithic in nature. And we couldn't flex in order to fit our continually changing needs. So those were needs that we had to meet. In order to do that, we decided to look for a system that was truly enterprise grade, something that would grow with us over time, and that we could use more as bricks in construction, something that we could fit together piece by piece as we needed to and build modular workflows to suit our customers' needs. The key factors were largely their ability to perform, their ability to scale, and on the services side, their ability to provide resources to help us move forward. But we also, like I said before, we're highly interested in a workflow-oriented architecture. That was something that Accellos brought and is continuing to build upon. So those were the big things that we were really looking for. Other things, we wanted to automate certain processes, bring more RF into the picture, put more of the workflow out on the floor, take paper away, but really those were secondary to the other needs. We're using A1 3PL, or Enterprise 3PL, as that is, I believe, what they're calling it now. And we also have purchased Nexus and Pulse to handle EDI and KPI reporting. We've been able to systematize certain processes that we simply couldn't before. One of the services that we provide is a repack service, where we take materials coming in from overseas suppliers and package them into essentially Kanban quantities for our customers to consume at line side in their manufacturing process. That was something we could never systematize, or at least systematize well, before. Now we have that up and running. It's fully supportable. Accellos made that work for us out of the gate with our implementation, and that was a tremendous thing for us. As well as our billing methodologies are a little bit non-traditional, at least in some areas of our business. And Accellos was able to take those up from day one and help us work through those. So those were tremendous gains for us. As I mentioned, we've implemented more and more in terms of RF, putting more features out on the floor in terms of better picking, better slotting, more real-time auditing of product going out the door. We can now close receipts as material has been taken off the receiving dock and to the warehouse, which takes time out of the process and ultimately makes our people more efficient. The big thing is do your homework. We went to market and talked to no fewer than 7 warehouse management systems and made them come to us and demonstrate how their warehouse management systems could meet our most complicated problems. That was the big sell with Accellos, is they came in and showed us, not just talked about, but showed us how they could solve our biggest problems with very few modifications to the system at all. Doing your homework is critical. Understanding understanding the market needs of your customers and where those are trending towards is also critical. And that was one of the things that we looked at, was how do these software solutions help us meet our needs now, but also what our customers are talking about needing in the future. The biggest gap, and I'll use that term instead of challenge. The biggest gap that I see is information. Ultimately, lots of providers can provide warehousing services. Lots of providers can provide repackaging services. There are a lot of providers that can perform TMS and basic logistics services. But what customers ultimately want is a deeper insight into their supply chain. Georgia Tech publishes a study annually where they talk about perceptions in the supply chain between customers and their 3PL partners, and what they've consistently found is that while 3PL partners may think that they have excellent capabilities, their customers' perception is that they don't. Managing that perception and supplying the information to the customers to make them realize the value is the challenge that we look forward to in the coming years.